Have you actually thrown spaghetti against a wall?
Yeah.
It doesn't stick.
Are you sure?
If it's done, it does.
I don't know.
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
Eastern Conference Division League of the National Hockey League. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Draft in Hand podcast. I'm Greg. That's Ian.
Yo.
And Mark.
Hey.
And we're going through each of the NHL divisions, doing a bit of a preview, making some bold predictions. We're basically saying, hey, this could happen just for fun, good or bad, throwing spaghetti against the wall, see what sticks. And at the end of the episode, we're going to be making some way too early playoff predictions because that's what we do and that's what everyone else does, and we're not going to let everyone else do it and us not do it. So we're going to do that too. We're going to take a guess at not the rankings, not the order that they're going to finish in, but we're just going to take a guess at who makes the playoffs and who might come out of the division as the Stanley Cup semi-finalist.
Have you actually thrown spaghetti against a wall?
Yeah.
It doesn't stick.
Are you sure?
If it's done, it does.
I don't know. I was just wondering. I haven't done it.
No.
I haven't done it. That's
All
why
right,
I was
we'll
wondering.
test that theory.
Yeah, if it's done, it sticks.
Next time my mom makes spaghetti for dinner, I'll bring a little bit out.
No, it's got to be. It can't be like brick wall.
It's gotta be like a dry
like
wall.
a ceramic wall.
The garage door.
It might be too cold though.
Maybe
It would work.
It might freeze.
That's fine. We just spray it off with a hose when we're done.
Okay, so who?
We have the technology.
Mark, do you have a breakdown points wise of this division? What do you guys think?
Well, there was a
high
lot
level?
of points last year in this division.
A lot of points. Is this the most total points of any division?
I believe so, yes.
Based on the season that just happened,
last year.
2019-20.
Well,
Yeah.
this and the Canadian division are the two that had 6 teams each that made the play-ins.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
This division had four 40-game winners last year,
Out of beat.
which is fucking hectic going into next season.
The
only real difference between the Penguins and the Bruins, Penguins finished 4th, Bruins finished 1st, was just overtime losses.
Wow. Okay, so who were the teams that
And a
had
few wins.
40 win teams?
Penguins had 40,
Yep.
Flyers and Capitals both had 41, and the Bruins had 44. But the Bruins also had 12 overtime losses, so
That's a lot of extra points.
that's a lot of extra points.
And then how with the other teams? How'd they do? How much lower were they?
8 for the Caps, 7 for the Flyers, 6 for the Pens.
And in terms of overall points, what was the spread between the top and the bottom of the division?
32 points. So one more than the West, so I'm going to correct myself because I said the West was the greatest gap. And the Sabres and Devils both had 68 points.
What if you erase those two? What if like the actual the 6 contenders? 21.
That's still a pretty big gap.
That's a bit
in the
well,
Canadian division. It was
But that was
12
the Rangers.
points.
Rangers had 37 wins as well.
Yeah. It's just
So-
that they didn't have all of those
Extra points that the rest of the teams had.
from those overtime losses or whatever, keeping those games close. Okay, cool. That's a helpful breakdown. Let's start with the blue shirts. Speaking of the New York Rangers, let's start there. What do you guys think about the New York Rangers? First overall pick this past year.
Fucking lucky
Fucking
bastards
assholes.
after getting Kako and friggin' having a really good roster before even getting Lafreniere.
Yep.
Just add to their bag of riches. They got elite center up the middle in Mika Zibanejad. They got the friggin' Artemi Panarin as well on a different line.
Superstar.
So, fuck, man.
Yep.
2 superstars on 2 different lines. Chris Kreider is no friggin' slouch, and neither is Ryan Strome.
No. Kreider's a solid top 6 guy.
Oh, yeah.
Kreider would be a top 6 on any team in the league.
He runs such a muck and he scores goals. Like, you fucking hate playing against him, but you love him when he's on your team.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like you said, Panarin, he creates all sorts of high danger chances.
Elite,
he's like top.
Exactly.
10 player in the league.
He's right-handed Patty Kane.
Yeah, basically.
But he just plays the left side.
Just plays left side.
He's definitely one of the best left wingers in the league, and
Easily.
he's well, I think someone brought it up in our fantasy. Every year he's been in the NHL, he's increased his point total.
Sounds like something. I think Amy brought that up.
I think Amy might have brought that up.
Yeah.
So, and I think last year he had like 90.
He had a lot.
90 something in 70 games. Like,
Yeah,
he's up there with the
best players in the
Connor
world.
McDavid.
Once
Leon
you start
Draisaitl.
once you start getting to that point total, though, it's hard to sustain that year after year. However,
But if you can sustain it year after year, you're
elite.
considered one of the best.
He is a little older though, right?
Well, he came
29.
in back to the
29,
league
yeah.
when he was 24 or whatever, didn't he? 25?
Yeah, well, he won the Calder that year as like the oldest player
Eligible.
ever.
Yeah,
to
the
win.
oldest age you could be eligible for the Calder.
That's it. So that and Mika Zibanejad as well. Mika Zibanejad. You could pencil Mika Zibanejad in as almost a 50 goal guy in a regular season. Like not pencil.
No, 40 for sure. I'll give him 40 for sure.
Well, he was 41 last year.
Yeah.
But that could be his best season ever, though.
Could be.
And we did mention he had a really high shooting percentage. Zibanejad did. It was near. He's usually marked. You said he's in like the 12-13 range on average.
Yeah, the low teens.
Yeah, when he came back from his injury, that team went off.
Oh yeah.
Last year he was firing in the 20% shooting percentage range, which is I don't think that's not sustainable.
I don't think it's sustainable.
No, that's the same level comparably. That's about the same level that the McDavid and Draisaitl were shooting on their power play.
Yeah.
On the Oilers power play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit crazy. Young talent, Kakko. He did not have a great rookie year, but
that's whatever. He played a full season. I don't think he got hurt.
Nope. He was healthy, so hopefully
66 games, 23 points.
Yeah, not
so
great.
He missed a couple.
But also he does. They roll lines in New York.
Yeah.
They're not going to stack. It's not like he came onto a bad team and got top line minutes.
No, exactly.
And played 25 minutes a night.
He's got to earn his minutes, but he's going to earn those minutes to play with stars though too. It's not like he has to grab the bull by the horns. People are already grabbing the bull by the horns on the Rangers for him.
Yeah,
he gets to be a nice complimentary piece until he becomes a star or whatever he becomes.
And the Fernie is the same boat. They're not taking minutes away from Kreider or Panarin just because they're top stars.
Exactly.
It's also a better environment for them long term because they have to earn it. They're not just handed over the keys.
Exactly.
To the.
It's not like, oh, this
Madison
is my
Square
team already, and then you have guys come over and have to they have to earn for the Rangers. They have to earn their stripes.
It's like the goaltenders did. Shesterkin,
Georgiev.
They're both mid 20s. I know Shesterkin had such a small sample size. I think only 12 starts last year.
11-1 or something.
I think he had 10 wins.
10 wins.
10-1-1 or
yeah, it's probably 10-1-1.
Crazy.
Yeah, if you win 10 of every 12 starts in your NHL career, you're going to the Hall of Fame.
You're going down as the best all time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And you're going to win some things along the way. Yeah, that's not sustainable, but he's shown that NHL starter pedigree in that smaller sample size. I know some goalies come in and it's like, okay, they stop pucks, but they're a little bit like they look like they're trying to put out a fire. He came in and he looked pretty good doing it. He didn't get to watch much. It was disappointing we didn't get to see him in the bubble, but you had to give Lundqvist those starts.
You have to.
He had the .932 save percentage last year.
Yeah,
in 12 starts.
And do we know who is Shesterkin supposed to be the starter?
I feel like people are talking about him that way.
I don't think New York's announced who's starting yet.
I haven't heard so either, because Georgiev has been a capable backup, and he's been
there longer.
Exactly, he's been with the Rangers longer, so it kind of sucks for him to sort of play second fiddle for this guy who just comes in. And I know Shesterkin was good, but hey, there's a goaltending battle, goaltending controversy, strong goaltenders on the Rangers. That's good for them.
I don't like controversy. I like the word battle better, like you said.
Sure.
Competition.
Competition. That's better.
Not
controversy.
Well, the controversy.
Let's not use controversy. Use competition.
Competition is more what actually happens. Controversy is what the media stirs up.
Yeah, let's call it competition.
Yeah, we don't want to be the media.
But what's most important with those two goaltenders is that their age slots in perfectly with guys like Buchnevich or
Is that how you say his name?
and Capo. Like that's a young upcoming team now.
Mm-hmm.
Fox, 22, great young defenseman. He might be running their power play. They have a whole slew of guys on this on their roster, and I'm just naming a few of them. But if you look at their roster, they don't have anybody right now. They have one guy over the age of 30.
It's Kreider, right?
No, that's Brendan Smith. Kreider.
It's not even Kreider?
No.
Fuck, I felt like Kreider's been there for decades.
Kreider's 29.
They have Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson doesn't count as a hockey player, though. He's shit.
So, yeah, they're a young team. This is gonna be okay. Here's
they're gonna be exciting this year. I don't know where they're gonna go, but they're gonna be exciting to watch, and they could be up here. I'm holding my hand up really high, or they could be down here, and I'm holding my hand really low.
Oh, I love.
I don't really think
visuals.
they're gonna be in the middle this year. They're either gonna fucking go lights out and
really good or really bad.
or it's going to be a young team with a lot of things to learn.
I like their young D. Like Trouba's like their oldest of like their core kind of thing.
Absolutely.
At like 26.
Yeah, Trouba's not old at all.
Actually,
he didn't have a great first year though. He had a decent year. Like I know he put up some numbers, but he wasn't amazing.
Well, it was mostly D'Angelo and Fox, I think, that were like their main guys
offensively. Yeah,
and D'Angelo had like
D'Angelo finished 5th in defensive scoring last year.
Yeah, he had like 53 points, 15 goals.
Solid.
Is he gonna do that again?
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that depends on his power play time and if Fox is able to poach some of those minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Rangers the next few years. It's gonna be a really good fucking team. If I was a Rangers fan, I would be so damn excited. But as a Flyers fan, I'm fucking pissed off that the Rangers are gonna have a good team for like the next fucking decade.
Yeah. So here's my bold prediction over the duration. This isn't a 1 year thing. This is more of a multi-year thing. Looking at this roster, looking at the young talent that they've drafted and acquired, this team is looking a lot like, including the double young goalies, they're looking a lot like Tampa Bay from a few years back.
Slowly building their way.
Yeah.
So you're saying they're gonna have contract trouble in a couple years?
No, they got to win a cup before they get contract trouble.
You're a good team when you start having contract trouble.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Yeah. So if you're having contract trouble because you're too talented, that's a good problem to have.
Thing. Yeah,
that's a good problem.
Greg phrases it better.
Yeah. So it's such an elephant on their back to have $13 million against their cap. They have buyouts, they got salary retention,
and they're still that good. That's what kind of like.
That's because they have those young guys that are
they're lucky
paid
to have
a
all
lot.
the ECLs.
They got Shattenkirk on their books still. They got Lundqvist on their books. Those are the two big ones. That's basically $11 million right there. Another $1 million for Dan Girardi. Spooner's there. The Spooner's not much on against their cap, and it's only the 1 year. But man, they can. How many players can you sign for $13 million? Several good
Connor
ones.
McDavid.
Yeah, basically. So look at it this way: if they signed a guy for $13 million, that would be their highest paid player, more than Panarin.
Yeah,
which isn't a shock, but just look at it like that. Like they could add another star player of that caliber.
Yeah, or they can add like 2 mid-level guys or something.
And that's only on the books this year. Against their cap, it's $4 million next year. So they free up 8. 9.
Nice math.
It's somewhere between the two. I'm rounding numbers here. I'm rounding numbers.
Ovechkin.
They could hypothetically. Didn't I use that as an example in a 7th inning stretch?
Come to Broadway.
I did. In one of our first 5 episodes, we were talking about Drive to Survive, and we used Ovechkin to go to the rate just as a random example. But that would be something.
That'd be hilarious. A bold prediction.
Mark, is that a spaghetti against the wall?
No, because I want Ovechkin to stay in.
I think that'd be great too. But also, but chaos is a little more fun though too.
Yeah, but not that kind of chaos.
It's a little.
That's like abrupt chaos.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see Ovechkin. I want to see Ovechkin stay a Capital. At the same time, entertainment.
I see him going anywhere else.
You could call that. I don't want to call it abrupt chaos.
I don't think I see him going anywhere else.
I don't need Caps fans coming to my house with pitchforks.
Well, because we said it. Therefore it is.
Yeah,
it's your fault. Greg.
I guess that's how it works.
All right, we'll point you to Greg's house.
And so any bold predictions for the New York Rangers aside from those ridiculous ones?
They finished first in the East.
Finish first, eh? I think they're gonna make a big splash in this offseason because of that freed up cap space. And I'm not sure who it's gonna be, but
well, you can go with
the
trophies if you want. You can go like Lafreniere, Calder, Panarin could be an Art Ross, could be a Hart, Zibanejad could be a Hart.
Could have a Vezina guy.
Yeah,
maybe we'll see. I haven't seen enough of them.
No. Neither have the Rangers. This is almost a show me year they have a ton of young guys, and in such a busy and elite division, I don't think
missing the playoffs isn't a big deal.
No, I mean it's
a big deal. It's a big deal, but like it's not a huge deal considering they have to battle against the Bruins, Capitals, Flyers, Penguins, Islanders.
If you're the New York Rangers, this is a great year for an experiment, a perfect year for a bunch of experiments. Because you're playing good competition, you're not experimenting against
exactly.
Bad
you got a good measuring stick to give yourself against this season.
Oh yeah, all right. Mark, who do you want to go to next?
Let's go down over to Washington.
Let's talk about the Washington Capitals.
Washington Capitals.
Kind of brought them up.
All right,
So
yeah.
might as well.
Yep.
Yeah, hope Ovi fucking goes off again so we can pass Gretzky in goals.
I'd love to see
That's
that.
one thing I want to see because Gretzky can't hold all the records.
No, he has to share one.
No, if he has to, that means Ovechkin ties if he's sharing. Ovechkin's breaking.
Yes.
No sharing.
No sharing.
And I feel like if he gets that close, he's just going to continue to play until he actually does it.
Oh,
Even if
yeah.
it takes him till he's like 45.
Well, he said he does want to go back to Russia
I don't
and
think it
retire
would take
in
him
Russia.
that long.
Yeah, well,
But no, it won't take him that. Not at this pace.
No, fuck.
Not at this pace.
yeah, still 48 goals last year.
I think
had 50.
I think the Caps, they used to
Would
be
have had
the
over.
Would have had over 50.
they used to be the class of the Eastern Conference, and it sort of was an abrupt end to that.
They got their cup.
they got
which
their
I
cup.
think that they're a lot more satisfied.
It's almost like
they're happy going out in the twilight now with what they got.
yeah, they're getting a little bit older. They're one of the older teams in the league. Just looking up and down their lineup, they're yeah, whether you want to call it the twilight. Some of them more than others. Some of them are still in their prime.
Yeah.
But they certainly have more older guys going outwards than younger guys coming inwards.
But that happens when you're so good for so long.
100%. And the top end talent on that team is
It's still
so
there.
good. It's,
Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Wilson, Backstrom, Oshie. Fuck.
I think it's
Who else? Verana's
no, Verana's 24.
Yeah,
He's young,
Verana's
man.
a great young player.
Wilson's 26.
Yeah, but though you can't build a team around those guys.
No.
Like they don't have, like say, like
A young super. They don't have a Lafreniere.
They don't have like a Lafreniere
or
somebody
Capocacco or
that
Adam
like you
Fox
know is
even.
going to be a fucking potential superstar in 4 years when Backstrom and Ovechkin are
On their way out.
On their way out.
No, it's so hard to build a team that's sustainable, which is why it's so impressive to see teams like Boston that are able
Still
to be
doing
sustainable
it,
like
yeah.
that. That's really incredible. Wilson's that rare power forward type, and there's not many of him
Last
around
of a dying
anymore.
breed.
Yeah, really. That big. He can skate. He can score. He can do pretty much everything. Really.
He's one of my favorite players in the NHL. As much as people friggin' dislike him.
Dislike him because of what he does, but it's an older school style.
What his front of the book cover is. They just judge him by that. They don't read what he does on the actual ice.
I think though that top end talent they have. I think unfortunately
There's only a few teams that can match it in the league, but it's
declining quick, man.
Those teams are all young and their potential is still rising. Where Washington, they're just here and they're going in different directions with all the other young teams.
Exactly, their stock price is declining.
Much kind of like the Penguins, who we're probably going to talk about later.
Yeah.
In the same sense, a little bit.
Yeah, but Ovechkin at 35, still an elite goal scorer. He puts a lot of pucks on net, hits a lot of people, and you sort of just have to wonder, man. Like, I know he's declining defensively, but that shot on the power play is still lethal. They've been trying to stop it for a decade and a half now.
Nobody can stop it.
No. As long as he keeps shooting, as long as he keeps firing the puck from Ovechkin Island, it's still, or we call it Stamkos Island too, because it's sort of the same spot.
No, Stamkos is Stamkos Station.
Oh.
Ovechkin is Ovechkin Island.
These guys again, they don't have the 1-2 centers that everybody talks about, but they have a good 1-2 punch up the middle. With Kuznetsov and Backstrom.
You mean it's Kuznetsov and Backstrom?
Yeah.
Kuznetsov and
You don't think
Backstrom's
they're
amazing up the middle?
No, people don't talk. Well, they're not Crosby and Malkin, but I'm saying that they're a great 1-2 punch
I
in
think
their
I
own
talk
respect.
about them
I feel like
they're-
no one talks about Backstrom at all.
Yeah, I love fucking Backstrom's been one of my favorite.
And
players
Kuznetsov
since
did have
he's
a
been
lower year last year. Like he struggled a bit, but like his 2 years prior were pretty good.
90 points, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but these guys should both be good for 70 points. Pencil them in every year.
Oh yeah,
especially with
for
the
sure.
wingers around them.
Oh, for sure. Well, their playmaking ability and the fact that they can just do stuff by
Excellent
themselves.
vision. Both of them excellent vision.
These guys didn't. Oh, Kuznetsov and Backstrom don't need the wingers the Capitals have to produce. The fact that they have the wingers they have on Washington is just such a luxury to them because they're so fucking good.
Well, now they have to produce. If you have these wingers beside you, you better
exactly.
put up points.
No, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, they're that elite because people are like, oh, Ovechkin, or their wingers are so. No, these two centers are fucking amazing, man. And
really the
I
core of their
honestly hope fucking Backstrom can put up enough points to go down as a Hall of Famer, man. He's been that good.
That'd be cool.
And his career's been that quiet.
That's it. They're in Ovechkin's shadow.
Yeah.
Well,
And Carlson's shadow, for that matter. And that's sort of what I mean why and nobody talks about them as the elite core centers because they are, but they're just not in that conversation because of the shadow.
Exactly. It's not often wingers get talked over centers. It's like Backstrom. You kind of wish Backstrom got talked about same way Taves does as like
Exactly. Yes. Yes, because he plays, his point production is
Is better.
over the course of his career.
Is
played-
better than Taves.
He's played
Yeah.
total 956 games and has 927 points. So just
Backstrom?
under,
Yeah.
over his whole career, just under a point per game.
Wow.
They'll probably finish with around 1,200 by the time his career's done.
Well,
Yeah, it's not super old, but
No.
He's 30. He's only 33,
Yeah.
and for some guys, that's still young. It just depends on.
Well, he doesn't play an aggressive style. He hasn't been injured that often.
He doesn't go and crash and bang the way Ovechkin does.
No.
Ovechkin's that's why I think Ovechkin's decline could be a lot steeper. Man, he's got the silver hair going on already.
I think that's just a style, though.
It is, but
he dyes it.
The opposite of
Reverse.
the opposite of just for men.
reverse just for men.
He's also Ovechkin also has dad strength.
He just had a kid, so I think Ovechkin might just be on another level this year.
From a 5-on-5 perspective, Verona, Backstrom, and Oshie, that's a solid group. That's probably their best 5-on-5 line.
Oh yeah,
I
easily.
think talking about power
I think
play.
they had Backstrom penciled in with Ovechkin and Wilson.
They
Doesn't
sort of
matter.
flip back.
No, it
and forth.
really doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
They sort of Kuznetsov and Backstrom flip.
I think it depends on how Kuznetsov's like. He seems like he's a kind of a loose cannon kind of guy, so maybe how he's reacting,
Very wild card.
how he's playing.
What do you guys think about their defense?
They just picked up Chara.
Yeah,
I like it. They got I like
John
that when they
Carlson.
got a friggin' who's the guy they got from Detroit last year, Ian? Or
Oh,
2 years
Nick
ago?
Jensen.
Yeah, I'm a big Nick Jensen fan too.
Are you?
He's
Yeah.
a solid player. I really liked. I was upset when Detroit.
I was
got rid
hoping the
of him.
Leafs were going to go after him that year.
They got a lot of right-handed defensemen.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's too beyond Chara. They just got Chara, which I think they needed.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I think they needed Chara because beyond Carlson, who is elite of elite in terms of defensemen in the league, I don't think there's a lot there.
Really, I'm a big
beyond
Dmitry
Carlson.
Orlov fan. Or I think Orlov's really good.
I mean,
I enjoy
he's
watching
good-
him
okay.
play. He's very skilled. He gets the puck out of the zone. He's got a little bit of a mean streak as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a lot better than you probably think he is.
Maybe. I just don't think you go out and get Chara if they don't think there's a big gap there. And by signing Chara, it's almost their admission of, hey, we need some help. At the same time, it's Chara.
Or
Like, don't
I'm
be
pretty
stupid.
sure 30 other teams really wanted Chara,
Well,
and they
Maybe.
Would you not take Chara for what he signed for?
yeah. But the fact that he signed with Washington, the fact that they went out and got him, I'm just saying that after Carlson, I think there's a big drop off.
Not really. Justin Schultz is serviceable as the number 2. Brendan Dillon is decent at shutting down, and like Orlov is a lot better than you think, man.
But yeah, if you still look at like a defense total, like look at the
yeah.
league as well, it's like Carlson's already in the upper tier of defensemen, and like past that, like yeah, there isn't another guy like
No, there
that
isn't
on the
another
team.
guy like that
but,
on the team, but that team defense is just
but
built
go
to-
to the other teams. It's like after Roman Yossi, is there a big drop off? Yeah, Ryan Ellis is good, but
Ryan Ellis-
he's still nowhere close to as good as
No, but he's
Roman
a top.
Yossi.
Ellis is a top pair defenseman on just about any team,
Yeah, maybe.
right? Like if you put Ellis on this team, for example, he becomes the number 2, the second best defenseman.
You think he's that much better? I like Orlov.
No, I think Ellis is better.
Okay.
No, maybe I'm Homer bias.
Yeah, you are.
We're not
Homer.
gonna listen. I don't yell at Mark for having Philadelphia Flyer biases, so he can't yell at me for having
my
Nashville
biases
Predator
aren't
biases.
biases, though they're facts and they're
So
all true.
what about Samsonov?
Samsonov,
taking
23-year-old
over?
guy. You know what? I think that's a huge question mark. He has to be ready now. He doesn't have a choice. Lundqvist had
They
had
gave
that
him the
procedure.
reins and he has to fucking do it.
He's got to do it, and I think they're probably in the market for a backup goaltender. So if somebody has a backup goaltender on the market, I think the Capitals probably take a run at them.
I think if they were in the market for a backup goaltender, they would have picked one up from all the ones that have been on waivers the last few days.
Maybe.
Yeah, like Reimer passed through waivers. Why didn't they just grab him?
Neglovic, Carolina put both their backup goalies through waivers the other last 2 days.
Or maybe there's some unspoken thing that you don't pick up these guys when they're going to your fucking
Taxi squad?
taxi squad. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, or I don't know if is it
Just
cap-
because
is
it's a
it cap
weird
trouble?
year, you know?
Yeah,
Is
maybe.
it a cap hit thing?
Yeah, I don't know what their cap's like.
Projected cap space $0, so it could be a cap hit. Could be cap space.
There you go.
man. Could be cap space. Well, I know they have Phoenix Copley on their taxi squad as one goaltender.
Phoenix Copley, that's probably like the coolest name in the NHL.
Don't you automatically know how to play guitar if you're named that?
I'd assume so.
I'd assume
or you're
so.
just in like a wicked rock band, or you're like Bon Jovi. You're the band of the name is just your name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Any big predictions? Any bold predictions for the Washington Capitals?
Phoenix Copley is actually a rock star in disguise. There we go.
I like it.
I like the cat. Well, like I don't have a bold prediction. They're going to be good. They're probably going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the cup, so I don't really have a bold prediction for them.
No,
Yeah.
and this is one of those ones where you could say without being too bold that Ovechkin could have win the
Richard.
win the scoring.
Yeah, but that's not being.
That's
That's not a
being
bold prediction.
like-
I literally just said that. This is
Yeah.
not being a bold
You're being
prediction.
predictable. Stop
And-
being so predictable.
And you could also just make a not so bold prediction that Carlson wins the Norris. But
Norris,
again,
yeah.
like those aren't you can't.
Good job.
They're not bold predictions.
Yeah.
So
How about Tom Wilson scores more goals than Ovechkin this year?
That's stupid.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
not
bold.
No,
It would be
that's
bold.
beyond bold.
it'd be bold, but how do you justify it though? Every other prediction we kind of been able to like sort of justify.
I don't know.
Ovechkin gets injured first game and doesn't play the rest of the season.
Oh, that would be unfortunate.
Well,
But
that's how it happens.
We'd still love him to chase down that Gretzky record though.
Yeah, we do.
exactly. I don't know. Yeah,
Samsonov
Phoenix Copley is
Vezina.
a rock star.
Phoenix Copley drops an album and it becomes certified platinum.
There we
Next
go.
team.
All right, Ian, who's up next?
Oh shit, I don't want to choose.
Well, you're saying next team. You got to pick. Well,
Let's go to one of the shitters. Let's go Buffalo.
Let's go to Buffalo.
Let's go. No, let's not cheer for Buffalo.
Well, they had a big signing.
Taylor Hall,
Yeah.
And Eric Stahl.
Eric Stahl. I mean, like their first two lines don't look too bad.
They've revamped
Their
their
two
top.
lines didn't look too bad years before when they had O'Reilly and Eichel as well.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Yeah, they've sort of revamped their top two lines with those signings.
Jeff Skinner playing fourth line to start the season looks very nice. Nice $8-9 million player playing down there,
I mean, you hope he turns it around because he should be.
playing in the top six.
Yeah, he should be. So hopefully he gets it turned around, man. Like he's a good goal scorer. It's better for the league if you have goal scorers.
Goals, exactly.
They have Cousins making their lineup.
Nice.
Nice. Is Middlestat on their lineup?
Nope.
No, really, eh?
They have Tage Thompson playing.
Middlestat's on the taxi squad.
Tage Thompson playing with Jack Eichel and Taylor Hall first line. I don't know who Tage Thompson is.
Well,
Sounds like a rock star too.
could be another.
Sounds like another rock star name as well.
Is he in the same band as Phoenix Copley?
Yeah, there you go. Write his name down. We're gonna make our own NHL name rock band.
Oh my god. That'll be. Yeah, we'll have to.
Sounds
do
like
that.
a drummer name. Put Tage Thompson as a drummer.
Phoenix
Copley's
Copley.
the singer.
Phoenix Copley and Tage.
Thompson.
Phoenix and Tage. Okay, sick. All right. Eichel finally got somebody to ride shotgun with him. And he sort of was asking for this over the past couple seasons, just not having anyone to really play with to that caliber. He could be a 90-point guy in an 82-game regular season.
100 in my opinion.
Yeah,
Eichel?
not you pencil him in for 90.
I think Eichel could be a 50-50 player though. Fuck.
Ooh. And you know what? I know he's an excellent shot, but he also has the ability to carry the puck.
Oh,
he's also playmaker. He can generate.
He skates so fucking weird. I have no idea how he just doesn't trip over sticks and shit like that. He's so straight up that it's how aren't you tripping over everything?
just his stride?
Yeah.
He's gotten a lot better defensively too. So, and he's had to be because he hasn't had. Well, with
team to
Buffalo,
play
they're
with?
playing in their own zone so much too when they don't have when they're being hemmed in. Taylor Hall, 29 years old now, but he's still an elite puck carrier, man. He had a rough start last year, but
Yeah, well, he's playing on two teams that don't outscore goals.
yeah, and he's finally got Taylor Hall. I know in Edmonton he had a chance to play with some good players, but now he finally, after on that journey he was on through New Jersey and Arizona, he's finally back with an elite center.
Center with
So we'll see what happens.
Eric Stahl.
They're both sort of hungry for. Hall's been hungry for an elite center.
Hall's been hungry to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. So and you know what? And Taylor Hall,
Why did he
tip
go
of the
to
cap.
Buffalo?
Tip of the cap. You know what? I have a lot of respect for somebody who bets on themselves. 1 year, 8 million.
contract, yeah.
Yeah. So much respect for anyone who bets on themselves. So good for him for saying, hey, coach. I think the coach helped him bring in too. So that level of
He
comfort.
coached him in Edmonton as well.
Yeah. So that level of comfort, and again, just take what was available.
Eichel was on Chicklets, and he had no idea that Hall was going over, and apparently, Kruger kind of played a part in it. from coaching him back in Edmonton.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And Eichel had no idea that Hall was going to sign here.
And
Or there.
who's on that top line? You said it, Ian?
Tage Thompson, man,
Tage
our drummer.
Thompson.
Penciled in,
Yeah, that's what it says.
right? And who do they have playing with Stahl on the second line?
Sam Reinhart and Victor Olofsson.
Nice.
Olofsson had a great year, or pretty good year
When
last
he was
year.
Yeah.
playing with Eichel, he was.
He, I think he was like 40-something points in
I think
50-ish
he's a 7th
games.
round draft pick.
Because I know he got injured. Because you had him in fantasy for
Yeah, I had him
last
at the
year.
start of the year. He was point per game placed with Eichel, and then he got hurt. And then when he came back, he wasn't putting up points at the same clip, but he would have been probably up there for rookie of the year if he played all year, I think.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
And Reinhardt's pretty solid too.
And he was an
able to
older
drive
rookie too. I
play.
think Olofsson's like 21 or 22 now or something.
I can look that real quick. Olofsson?
Yeah.
Victor Olofsson is 25.
Oh fuck, he's a lot older.
So he's right, or he's the
Yeah.
same age as Reinhardt, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Reinhardt, you can pencil him in for, he's in the 60-point range as well. And Reinhardt's a little better defensively.
Yeah, Reinhardt. Yeah, I like
yes.
Reinhardt's game. He's annoying
I wouldn't
to
be
watch.
surprised.
It pisses me off when he plays the Leafs because he's good.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's ends
good
up on the
shutdown
top
guy,
line.
isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So I think he'd be a great complement to Eichel and
Hall.
Hall. They don't have him there now, but you never know,
You
right?
never-
Whoever
it's like that's what the league's trending to now is stacking that top line because you got to put skill with skill with skill.
Well, you might see them change their lines based on who they're playing. Because you can do a lot of that, especially how the divisions or leagues are.
Yep.
If you want to call it a league.
Yeah. Those the 4 leagues. How about on defense here, boys? Darlene,
Darlene,
The
I
Rasmuses.
love Darlene.
Tell us about
Rasmuses.
Darlene. Why do you love Darlene, Mark?
Man, he just gets the puck on his stick and then he just does whatever the fuck he wants on the ice with it. Like,
That could be a bad thing.
no, I mean, like, no, but like, it's in a good way. Like the puck, like he doesn't make mistakes. The puck's on his stick, and like he's not gonna fuck up with the puck.
He's
He'll
such
either
a
just skate
smooth
it end to
skater.
end, or he'll just make the perfect chip out, and then he'll hit the guy at the perfect time. He doesn't go out chasing the play ever as a defenseman.
He's only 20.
Yeah,
He's young.
Yeah, he's a young guy still.
It's scary to be in that division for a long time to come.
And then you have the other Rasmus,
Yeah.
yeah. He's
Ristolainen.
pretty
He's
shit at the defensive part, but he hits a lot of people.
he's a bull.
yeah. He's a bull.
I think you guys need to separate Ristolainen. He's a good fantasy hockey player,
Yeah.
He's not a great hockey player,
right? And there's
There's a big difference.
There's players that are in the opposite boat as well that are great hockey players, but they're not good on the fantasy side. From everything that I've read, between McCabe, Montour, and Ristolainen, they're all great bottom D, but it really drops off after Darlene.
After Dahlin, yeah.
in Buffalo. So a lot of right-handed defensemen too. That's interesting.
Much like friggin' Rangers too, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
Remember
What-
where there was a shortage of those?
Well, now we know where they all are.
There's a
Well,
shortage of them in certain spots.
Of good ones.
What's going to happen in net in Buffalo?
Sunburns?
Yeah, probably.
A lot of aloe vera
Yeah.
being applied.
Yeah. Poor Nilsson and who's the other guy?
Allmark and Hutton.
Allmark and Hutton. Oh, where'd Nilsson go?
Who?
Didn't they have Nilsson a year ago or something?
Indiana
No,
Manalo.
I think
I
this
don't
has been their
fucking know.
duo for like 3 years now.
Oh, fuck.
Allmark didn't have a bad year. 9-15 last season.
No, that's not terrible.
No, not bad at all. Hutton, 35 years old, though. He's had a bit of a rough stretch over the past little bit. These guys are not really gonna. I mean, they're both UFAs.
They're not going to steal anybody games.
They're both UFAs after this year, so Buffalo could very easily pivot away from them if they so chose to. But I mean, you know what? Hopefully, Allmark continues to develop. Hopefully, they get something there.
Yeah,
they
to me,
they need stops.
to me, if you're going to sign Hall and not address your goaltending, thinking you're going to make a playoffs, you kind of didn't really asset your team that well.
Especially in this past market where goaltenders were all over the
Yes,
place.
Exactly.
they were everywhere.
They were falling from trees.
Exactly, and I think going in with Allmark and Hutton, you're just you're probably not going to make the playoffs.
They also have 2 guys injured. Okposo, not terrible.
He hasn't been relevant, and
He still could be.
he's a name, Ian. He's just a name in the NHL now.
Yeah.
Right. And Gergensen.
He looks like a bug.
I don't have much to say about those guys.
Yeah, neither do I. They're shadows of themselves now.
Any bold predictions for the Buffalo Sabres?
No.
Mm.
Eichel wins the Art Ross.
Another Art Ross guy. I mean, there's a bunch of Art Ross guys.
No,
but
but I feel
could
like
be-
Eichel Eichel playing on that line is going to get a lot of goals. Eichel's going to put up a lot of points. Probably not going to make the playoffs, but
I think
Eichel's an elite talent, and I think he could put up enough points with Hall to lead the league in points. It's not really bold prediction, but
man,
there's nothing really else bold. Maybe friggin' Dahlin wins the Norris and breaks out, but usually the Norris doesn't go to a defenseman on a shitty team.
I'm just piecing a couple things together here, and this is a super bold. Again, these aren't just rumors. This is up just
Ryan
having
Miller
fun and
back
making
to
it up.
Buffalo.
That would be
They
sick.
Make the playoffs and win the cup.
Well, we were just saying that there's a lot of money available in New York coming up. I don't know if they need another winger, but
This division's too good.
Taylor Hall could maybe land in New York. Maybe a trade deadline acquisition or something. I guess they have cap trouble now, but I don't know. Taylor Hall could be another Seattle Kraken. Maybe.
Is that really bold though? Poor guy going to another team in
I
another
know.
year.
Well,
Greg's just trying
He
to
couldn't
make
be
the
a Kraken though because he's UFA at the end of the year and he won't be exposed to the draft.
no, but they could still sign him.
They could sign him.
Kraken can still sign him in. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sign him in
fuck,
free
imagine
agency.
Kraken do that.
That'd be
Taylor Hall.
They do have all the cap space. They are going to have all the cap space.
They have
That's-
all the cap space.
yeah. I'm not trying to make they're bold predictions, but they're bold, but they're not ridiculous. They're not impossible.
No.
But I think I don't know. He you know what?
Damn, that's a good.
He's left the door open for himself, which is a pretty, get your $8 million.
Do you know what? I think that's more plausible than a lot of predictions we make because they're going to need to sign a superstar. That's an easy face to get.
Yeah.
Well,
I know we
Vegas
said
went without a alleged superstar. Like
they got Fleury.
their
Yeah, but
Fleury
there
was
was
their
free agency.
superstar-ish.
Free agency at the time didn't give them the chance to like.
Yeah,
that.
I don't know who was available and whatnot.
He plays the left side, and I mentioned somebody who might play the right.
That's a little too bold though. This is at
No.
least like he's a free agent, and
Yeah.
Seattle actually has the chance to physically get him as the same chance as every other team does, where Marner has to be physically moved.
Exact, and same with Fleury.
But I
Kind of,
feel,
he has to be drafted.
I feel like if Hall has a year, then he's going to want to stay where he had that year
Or is he going to want to sign a big, massive, long-term contract somewhere
and just go be shit.
Or he moves at the trade dedeadline. That's a possibility too.
All right, let's stop talking about Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we're
that's
talking more about
way-
Taylor Hall
way too
specifically,
long.
but I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that could happen there. Okay, let's go to the next team. Let's talk about the New Jersey Devils. Let's go to New Jersey.
Veto.
They're going to be
Next.
bad.
I think. Speaking of all of the
Feel bad for them losing Corey Crawford.
speaking
Feel
of
bad
all
for
the
Corey
teams that are in the
Crawford.
lower end of the league, though, I think the Devils have a lot of nice young pieces that a lot of people are overlooking. They have two. We talked about the Washington Capitals and two nice centerpieces right up the middle. The Devils have they got Heischer, they got Jack Hughes, and both of those guys are really young, drafted very recently. And that center position on those top two lines, they could be set for a decade or more in New Jersey. That and
I agree, but in this moment and in this year, they're going to be fucking trash again.
oh yes, I'm trying to be optimistic here. Look forward. Yeah, they're going to be bottom of the division. I don't think there's zero expectations for this team for this year. They're going to be in the mix of the draft lottery. Currently, they have no elite talent to speak of, but they have developing talent from the in the middle of the ice.
Oh, for sure.
Even Blackwood's pretty good.
Yeah, I've been like hoping this guy would like finally break out because he was a World Junior goalie, wasn't he?
Oh,
I remember watching him in the World Juniors or something.
He
His
could have
name
been.
rings such a bell. Like that's not a name you'd forget.
We had when we went to Philly for that. We had that girl in the subway talk to us about Blackwood because she was like did like a play by play.
she was play by play for she was
Albany.
play by play or
Raider,
something for
for
Albany.
Albany, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh yeah, keep your eyes on him. He's good.
She says he was a really good goalie playing for Albany.
That was cool. It's like, oh, that's sick.
That's kind of yeah. So you ran into the play-by-play.
Not
Girl.
She
for
was
I don't
like
know,
play by play or
Albany
like
River.
something
I don't know
like that. Or
yeah, I don't know
something.
if it's for anything professional or she said she did that, but
Could be stats. Could
Whatever.
be something. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
He's only 24 too.
Yeah.
So he fits right in age-wise to that
Developing.
youth wave. Yeah,
Yeah.
that as well. And
yeah, they're
Hey.
not going to be good this year though.
no.
No, I do like the reverse retro though. They bring back the Christmas green.
Yeah, that's kind of
They're
neat.
so nice.
That's kind of
Is
neat.
that all we have to talk about?
Well, I hope Andreas Janssen has a good year. He was traded from the Leafs. We liked him as a Leaf. We liked him as a Toronto Marley, speaking of the American Hockey League, but it was just his salary cap hit just wasn't working with all the other things that are happening going on.
I love 7th round picks cracking the league too.
Yeah, 100%.
man.
7th round picks are just a guess.
Him and Connor Brown are two guys I wish the Leafs could keep, but like the fact that you draft a 7th rounder and they become valuable for you, it's like a free asset you're getting.
Yeah,
Exactly. And Paul Mary, he's
not bad.
he's in that elite conversation. He's 29 years old. He's
Not
pretty
elite.
good.
He's a very good goal scorer, and I wouldn't call him elite
30.
close to anywhere else.
He's a lock for 30.
Yeah.
In an 82
in
season.
an 82 game season, he's
Yeah.
a lock for 30 every year.
Yeah, and Nikita Gusev. That's not a name a lot of people know, but he's got decent power play numbers.
And I've been hoping Zadina's going to finally break out too. Philip Zadina. Or Zacha. Pavel Zacha. Sorry,
Zadina
I'm thinking
is
of
Detroit.
Zadina on Detroit.
Yeah. Pavel Zacha.
Pavel Zacha.
23. Yeah, he's a young guy. Do we have the lines up there? Do you know what line he's on?
Yeah, I got the lines here somewhere. First line they got Paul Mary, Jack Hughes, and I'm not trying.
Just
You got to
toss it
do
out
it,
there,
Ian.
bud.
You got to do it.
Toss it out there. Kyle Palmieri. Oh, yeah. Sharangovich.
Yeah.
Let me try.
It's like Igor, and then
Sharangovich?
yeah, there you
Nailed
go.
it.
Yeah.
And what's on
There
the
you go. Now
second
you
line?
try, Ian.
And then they have the second line: Andreas Janssen, Pavel Zacha, and Gusev.
So they got Hughes on the third line?
Oh
No,
no,
Hughes was first line.
Heischer.
Oh, sorry.
Heischer's injured
he's
right now.
injured right now. Yeah.
Oh,
so he's not
shoot.
on
Yeah.
these lines.
Okay. Gotcha. And then defensively, I'm not sure there's...
Severson's good. I really like
I like
Severson.
Severson.
You remember watching?
Yeah, he's been better.
Where was I watching?
Ryan Murray's not
Severson?
bad.
Were
He
we
could be the
watching
best D.
Severson?
Murray's our best defenseman.
We were watching Albany in a Marlies game, and Severson was just so fucking good.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It
Or was
might
it
have
you and I? Remember we were watching them against Albany?
Oh, in the
And
playoffs that one year.
Severson stood out so well.
yeah.
Like, he was a bully on the ice, and he's a bit of a bully on the ice in the NHL too, but he was a good moving the puck up and down the ice. Looks like he had a pretty good point season last year for New Jersey as well.
I'm glad we're finding positives for the New Jersey Devils.
We're trying to be optimistic, even
And
though we're
Subban
not.
needs a bounce back year. I hope he does.
He needs a hard bounce back year. Like
Yeah.
I used to like him as
I love him playing for the Preds, man.
he seems like he's a TV personality now. He's not even a player anymore. Like he's more about like the reality TV part of being a pro athlete.
He's building his own brand for
whatever.
for retirement, like for afterwards. But you can do both at once. But I'd love to see him bounce
Maybe
back
him
as
and
well.
Lindsey Vaughn splitting is good for him.
Did they
Could
split?
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, why are we bringing that up? I don't
Allegedly.
care. All right,
Pop culture, yo.
New Jersey's done.
Let's go. How about the Pittsburgh Penguins?
Any bold takes for New Jersey though before we move?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Nothing.
I don't really have anything, dude.
No.
No, other than like they could. Again, they're one of those teams. They're a lottery team.
All right. Next.
Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh.
Mark, tell us why you don't like the Pittsburgh Penguins.
No, we could do an episode on this. You do not want. Don't trigger me like this right now, Greg.
They have had
Oh, fuck
5
you, James
straight 100-point seasons. They were on pace for their 5th one. Sorry, they're on pace this past year for their 5th 100-point season. So they're still putting them. They're getting points, regular season points, man. I know they've had 2 playoff exits that have been a little bit embarrassing.
Stacked up the middle, Crosby, Malkin.
Yep.
Friggin' healthy Gensel coming back puts up another hopefully 40 goal pace for them.
Yeah, he's a top line guy with or without
Oh, yeah.
Crosby, I think.
Top
Oh,
6 is okay. Bottom 6 is
Hopefully Letang
Wanting.
can stay healthy all year, and he's always friggin' I think top caliber defenseman in the league.
Sorry, who's that?
Chris Letang.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%. He's incredible.
he deserves his due.
everyone knows Crosby, Malkin. Like
Brian Rust was
the
over
people
a
that
point
talk
per game
about,
last
yeah,
year and only played
Rust-
like half a season.
Ruster Zucker, maybe.
But they do
picking it
have
up.
a defense pair. They do have a defenseman named Cody Ceci, which
Have fun with that.
yeah.
Well, look at it this way: the Pittsburgh's top, that the defense in Pittsburgh doesn't get talked about so much just because they have those 2 guys in the middle. But Letang, he's solid.
Dumoulin.
Dumoulin is-
I like
Dumoulin
Dumoulin.
was-
Dumoulin is
Dumoulin's
very
good.
dependable. And he missed a chunk of last year too.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good.
Marcus Pettersson, he stepped up when there was some injuries last year.
He's really strong too, and he's only 24. Marino, 23. So they have 2 young defensemen.
I think they got 2 of those guys from like random they were like misfits from teams. The same way they got Justin Schultz from Edmonton.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like their top 4 actually looks pretty solid, and that's the one thing we said in Toronto. If Cody Ceci was on the bottom pair, it wouldn't be such a big deal. And I mean the contract thing too. It's don't put people in a position that they can't succeed in.
Yeah.
And if Pittsburgh's able to manage the minutes, Matheson and Ceci combined, if that's the bottom pair, okay, that's not great, but teams have done more with less.
You think Captain's can be playing on that first line if he's healthy? Because he's day-to-day right now.
They've mentioned that. He's either playing with Crosby or Malkin, whatever you want to call your first line.
Yeah, they said that the day he was traded to Pittsburgh.
Crosby's always been first line, so Crosby's going to be first
penciled
line.
in. But they said that, they came out and said that the day he was traded. You don't trade a first-round pick for a third liner.
No, exactly. Like, I do hate the Penguins, but I do love the city of Pittsburgh.
I know.
Girlfriend and I went there for the outdoor game at the Heinz Field there. Never been to such a fucking better sports spectacle in my life. It was so cool.
That was the Flyers.
Yeah, the locals in Pittsburgh were like the friggin' nicest fans ever. They fucking love their yellow and their gold and black, like
that's their teams,
like,
man. That's it.
Nobody was a fan of anything outside of Pittsburgh. There, it was so cool to see.
Yeah,
like,
you don't walk into
Toronto. It's like, yo, LA
I'm a fan
hat,
of this.
Yo, Yankees hat. Yo,
yeah.
It's like
Yo, get those Yankees hats out of Toronto.
No. You don't get any fans representing any other teams outside of Toronto.
I swear I've left.
No, but in Pittsburgh, you mean? Yeah. It's black and gold.
It's black and gold, black,
and that's it.
Like, that's it.
You don't see another team color unless you're an away fan.
Exactly. And they were so respectable to us be wearing all of our Flyers shit.
Yeah, you see people there all the time.
But love Pittsburgh, love your city. I just hate your fucking team.
And that's fair.
You.
That's fair. Hey, okay. We don't need to talk about these guys too much, but Crosby was a Hart finalist in 2018-19.
What a surprise!
What a shocker! And I mean, he's penciling him he's a point per game easy too.
Oh, easy.
Malkin's also elite. He's hopefully.
Except we didn't have to talk about these guys.
I feel like
missed a bit of time recently.
Losing Hornqvist is a bit of a hole that might kind of hurt them in the long run come playoff time.
That could be a captain. I don't think he fills the same role, though.
He doesn't nearly fill the same role.
He fills a hole, but he doesn't fill the same. He doesn't check off all the same boxes.
All the list that Hornqvist
exactly
does.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there for sure. Hey, and
I'm so glad Hornqvist is not on Pittsburgh anymore because I hated him when he played the fucking Flyers, man.
Tristan Jarry, 25 years old, had a pretty good year. He had a .920. DeSmith had a pretty strong year too. Do we have any doubts there?
Yep.
Why?
Young.
It's fucking Pittsburgh.
Oh, just because you're like, yeah, fuck this.
Yeah, fuck this.
I think Pittsburgh's.
Don't listen to my
really
bias on
year.
this.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh's gonna have a good year as long as Crosby and Malkin stay healthy. And
they don't got much depth after that, though.
But they don't need much.
No,
like
yeah,
center-wise, they fall.
Yeah, what do they got their third line center like?
This year more than most,
Mark
I think
Jankowski.
they drop off hard in their third and fourth lines. They drop off hard than they have in the past.
Yeah,
they do not have the same luxury.
They got Jankowski.
Yeah,
he was that big science experiment that Calgary drafted very early.
And he's playing with Brandon Tanev and Jared McCann.
Yeah, a bunch of guys who could be. Bunch of guys who could be. Teddy Bluger.
Hard, but they're going to be so good on the friggin' power play and special teams that it makes up for having a weak bottom six.
Yeah, Evan Rodriguez is okay too. Yeah, they have guys. They have guys filling their bottom six, and hopefully they get some production out of them. And again, their 4D are the same way. It's like the top four, and then it drops off a little bit.
Yeah.
And as long as Jarry stays as steady as he did before, man, 920.
Yeah,
like that's,
you could give him a lock for the playoffs almost.
Yeah, right on. Any bold predictions for the Pittsburgh Penguins? I mean, they're so good. I don't really like just 100.
You could just go like Crosby, Malkin, Art Ross. Like it could happen.
It's not even a bold prediction to say that they'd be on a 100-point pace as well as a
my
team.
bold prediction is Letang's a Vezina or a Norris finalist.
I'd like to see that.
I would love to see it as well.
Bold prediction, just hey, he's healthy all year.
Healthy all year. That'd be the main thing.
I would love to see the Penguins. I'm not a huge Penguins fan. I don't really care one way or the other. Mark doesn't like them.
They've won enough.
I like
they've
Letang.
won enough.
I want Letang to do well. I hate that he's always fucking hurt, man.
I'd love to see that too. I'd absolutely
like to see what he's capable of being healthy a full season, eh?
Yep. How about let's go next. Let's go to the New York Islanders. Let's finish off the New York area. What do you guys think about the New York Islanders?
Snooze fest.
Snooze
I don't know.
fest.
Fuck them. They knocked out Philly last year.
Well,
And-
watching them play is a snooze fest unless
and they
two
kinda
guys
like
are
it
on the
that way.
ice.
Yeah.
That's the
The only way to score on that team is to throw fucking pucks at their defenseman's feet and hope it fucking deflects off one of them and goes
that's
in.
the Barry Trotz system.
Holy fuck, it's so frustrating to play against.
It's the Barry Trotz system. So speaking of, let's talk about their goalies. They got Varlamov in net.
And the new kid, Samson, or
Sorokin, Ilya Sorokin, who I picked as my Rookie of the Year potential. That was my Rookie of the Year pick, just a long shot, but why not?
Yeah, I scooped him up
Mystery
as
box?
a free agent, as for fun, just in case something happens to pass.
Yeah, Varlamov's sort of a low-end starter, but
Doesn't give up a lot of goals.
No, not really.
So I like that in the fact that the Islanders don't give up a lot of goals.
Varlamov's
I feel like the team is gonna have they're surprising. They scored a lot more goals in the last year than you expect them to when you watch the team.
is that Barzal driving the offense?
No.
Or is that just Bolivia had a good year.
Yeah, Beauvillier,
He had a-
Anders Lee had a good year. Brock Nelson was a 2020 last year, I think.
He's
Nelson is one of the
Nelson
best
had
number
28,
2.
Yeah.
He's one of the best number 2 centers in the league, I
Yeah.
think. Jordan Eberle, he slotted on the first
team,
line again.
I really like the team. Their depth is unreal, and you can never bet against Barry Trotz.
No, and especially when they have the ability to roll 4 lines. Cizikas is one of the best 4th line centers in the league.
That fourth line is amazing.
It's incredible.
Cal Clusterfuck, Matt
Yeah.
Martin, and Cizikas.
And Pajot, I guess
Pajot's on the third line.
he's
yeah.
technically on the 3rd line now.
Pajot was first line center in Ottawa before he got traded to. I hated Pajot. Fuck Pajot too.
Great 2-way
Fuck
player,
the
man.
Islanders too, man.
Jeez.
Okay, well,
Everyone in this division except for one team, obviously.
yeah, Mark hates everyone except one team. Wonder who that is. But hey, Pajot, you know what? A lot of respect to Pajot going.
I didn't mind the Rangers.
He got the contract signed too. He got the
Yeah,
extension.
he
Lou
earned it
Lamoriello
with
liked
all
him enough
that.
to sign
give
him.
the thing. They got rid of. I guess it was probably him or Broussard, because they had Broussard last year too, and Broussard went to Arizona.
Yes.
And they gave Pajot the contract.
Yeah.
I really like watching their first line in the playoffs. It was
I
the
like
only
watching Barzal
Barzal,
playing with
Eberle.
and Beauvillier.
Is it Beauvillier? Well, they have Anders Lee there right now. I thought
Oh,
Lee
might have
was.
been Lee.
I think Lee was on that line actually.
just,
he's such a big guy.
You never see him doing anything on the ice, and he's just goal, 1 assist, 4 hits, and you're like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah, how?
Almost a
When
good
did you?
thing.
When
Yeah.
did you
Just
do
kind of
this?
that stabilizing. Well, everyone's because you're looking at Barzal the whole time.
Yeah.
Everyone
right?
is. He's everywhere.
Lee, I think Lee has really benefited from Barzal's emergence. That's sort of
for
what
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
Because Lee's not a play driver.
Same with Jordan Eberle. They played really well together.
Oh, Eberle likes playing with a play driver. You saw
Yeah.
how good he was with Hopkins and Hall.
Eberle can generate space and time for himself. Lee can't quite do that, but they're ball better with
And
Barzal in
Eberle
the
has an
middle.
insanely underrated shot.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Fuck.
Yeah. Barzal, they have him. He's one of the best at zone entries, which I know if you're looking at underlying stats.
Okay, if he's the closest, the only person better at zone entries than him, I think is McDavid.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
He's up there with the elite of
Yeah.
zone. He's in the 100th percentile of zone entries, which I mean,
That's
think-
important. You got to get in the zone to score a goal.
that's
There's
the
only a
rules,
few-
Ian.
there's only
Those
a-
are the rules. Yeah.
there's Probably, I think
Unless you're shooting on Toscala.
I think him
Oh.
and McDavid are the best 2 zone entries in the NHL.
I think you're right. It's something like that. So when you're compared in the same sentence to, I know it's not a major category, but it's a major one of
It's
the
a
major analytical categories.
especially on the power play.
I don't really
Yeah.
their defense doesn't really pop out at me.
No, they lost Taves to Colorado, which was
Taves.
huge. It's a huge loss. But it might have been a strategic one. Pulak was the guy we're we're not really sure. He's 26. He's relatively young, but not flashy. But I guess that's their style. So he's steady though,
They have him
and a little
playing with
offensive upside.
Adam Pellick on the first D
Pellick,
pair.
yeah, another strong
And
defensive
they
guy.
have Letty and Mayfield as their second.
Letty was awesome in the playoffs against Philly last year.
Letty looked a lot
Letty
better in
is-
the bubble
is
than he did in the
one.
season.
Yeah. Letty was great.
Letty, he looked like he was flying out
It's
there.
almost like he had, and I don't know this to be true, but it's almost like he had maybe an injury, something
Yeah.
nagging him, and then he just needed that time
I
to
honestly,
recover.
I was like, oh fuck, they got Nick Letty too. Fuck
It's like they
me.
got Nick Letty back.
Yeah.
And then Andy Green and Noah Dobson.
Yeah,
as
it was
the third
okay.
pair.
Yeah, that pairing was Andy Green and Nick Letty was that pairing, and I was like, you can't fucking do shit against these guys. Green is blocking every single fucking shot.
Yeah, and then Letty's just getting
Because
the puck.
they got Andy Green from the Devils at the trade deadline last year, because he was the Devils captain.
Yeah. And Pellish, I think Pellish is sort of one of those Swiss Army knife defensemen. Does everything well.
They just got a bunch of Swiss Army knives back there.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It seems that way. With maybe
it's like a less flashy Nashville kind of.
Maybe Pulak has a little bit more upside offensively, and Boychuk I guess is on the decline, but
he's on the IR.
Yeah, so but you're not wrong, except Yossi's a great two-way that and he just puts up a lot of points because he drives all the play. So
is Dalcola anything?
Not really. Yeah, he was.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be something.
He's on the IR too. That's what I was wondering.
He's a first-round pick.
Yeah. Well, has he done anything?
The one stat I will throw with
Sorokin.
Sorokin has over the past 2 years ago he had a 940 save percentage in Russia.
Yeah, that's like insane.
It was like
that's
930s.
That's pretty crazy.
That's hard. Honestly, that's hard to just do. Like,
well, that's just crazy in a league where scoring is so big. Like
no, the KHL, the scoring
it's low scoring, but
is it?
Scoring.
Yeah,
but like
scoring's big because it's important because they don't score much.
Oh, so they suck.
But like 940 is like unheard of.
It's insane, and he
like I know it's hard to do, but like
he's been consistently up there. Like he
just looking at 940 is hard to believe.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So my bold prediction, and I did this in our trophy episode where we did Leafs and trophies. I had Sorokin as my Rookie of the Year,
Calder,
winning the Calder. So that's my bold prediction.
I got nothing on that team actually. They don't have that top end.
No, they're just deep.
Yeah,
deep forward depth.
It'd have to be something with a goalie. Yeah, I don't know.
Guys, want to go on to the
dirty Bruins,
the Boston Bruins,
ugly yellow team.
All right, Boston Bruins. I'm gonna my first impression looking at this team. They remind me of the Winnipeg Jets because they lost two big. Winnipeg lost 3. Boston lost 2 big defensemen.
Yeah,
they still have their goaltending. They still have their offense.
Minute eaters too.
Exactly. So the same way Winnipeg lost Bufflin and Trouba and Myers, Boston lost Chara and Krug for nothing. They signed Craig Smith up front. They have to fill those holes internally, just like basically Winnipeg did.
When did they get Casey?
They traded Heinen and I think a pick to Anaheim for him last year.
Yeah, so
at the trade deadline.
Yeah, they have him on their second line with DeBrusk and Krejci. That's pretty solid second line.
Solid.
Right now they have Jack Studnicka.
You got that one good.
Killing it today.
No, I'm fucking terrible playing with Bergeron and Marchand on that first line. So that's until Pasternak comes back. Whenever he's
maybe
back,
a month.
Already might be ahead of schedule.
Even their third line, their third line's pretty solid. Charlie Coyle, Craig Smith, and Nick Ritchie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Coyle's a great third. Like, could be one of the best third line centers in the league.
Oh,
Agreed.
Yeah, like their top,
undoubtedly.
Their top is nice. And as soon as Pasternak's back with like elite goal scoring, they still have the front end. And it's funny because you only ever hear them talk about that first line. And it's like the rest of the team actually is good.
Is unreal. Why do you think Boston's always so fucking good?
Yeah. It's almost like they don't talk about the rest because they're not bad enough to be talked about.
Yeah.
They're just steady.
They're doing their job.
Like Krejci he's one of the best second line centers in the league. He's an excellent playmaker.
He's been the best second line center in the league since he's been in the career.
And he's 34, but you don't talk about him being old because he's just good.
You're going to talk about Bergeron being old before you're going to talk about Krejci being old in the first place.
Bergeron's 1 year older.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And Bergeron is
and nobody really
two-way
talks
wizard.
about Bergeron being old. They're like, oh, could he stay healthy? Bergeron doesn't really get
he's been injured the past 3 years.
Since early in his career, he hasn't had something that crazy since his concussions and that playoff thing where he had those ribs and shit like that.
Yeah. And Pasternak, 24 years old, he has his crazy goal pace.
Yeah.
Crazy goal pace. Marchand, elite playmaker.
Yeah, Marchand's got some of the greasiest hands in the league. I have no idea the shit he does.
People just think of him as greasy. They don't think of his hands as greasy, but if you watch him close enough.
Oh my god, he makes the best players in the world look so stupid around the net. Just he's such a good. What helps him too is he's an elite. His agility and his footwork is elite. He might not be fast, but
he's quick.
His agility and his quickness and the fact that he's so elusive around players is insane. His edge work is beautiful.
He might even call him greasy. That's how good of a skater he is. Because greasy hands, greasy footwork just because he's so slippery
Greasy
and
face.
elusive.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, you could say that too, Ian, if you like.
Like he's such a he. Never,
He's a rat.
when
He gets into places that he shouldn't be.
Yeah, and he never when he loses
comes
a
out with
puck
the puck
battle,
every time.
But,
He
like,
comes
when he
out with
loses
the
a
puck.
puck battle, he always he never loses it to the point where he always gets it back.
He's still,
Yeah,
he's an amazing player.
No, it's not a clean loss. There's guys in the league that they'll give the puck up and it's a clean loss, whereas there's some guys that they're never out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll battle back for it for sure.
And as much as he's frustrating to watch as a Leafs fan, man, you have to give him credit for doing that.
I fucking love him as a hockey player, man.
Oh yeah, if he was on your team,
He's honestly one of my favorite players in the league. I love watching him play. And honestly, I love his shtick.
I love watching him miss.
Yeah,
penalty,
it's a shtick. It's a shtick.
penalty
basically.
shots, shootout in the shootout.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh yeah. So did I. That
Is
was
this
hilarious.
the best forward group in the league? Boston?
No,
forward group like as a whole?
Yeah. Like, I mean, assuming Pasternak gets healthy, like once he's healthy, there's the argument to be made that this is the
offensively,
With a healthy
defensively,
Pasternak,
what do you want?
yes, only because Tampa doesn't have Kucherov.
Yes. Yeah, basically. Because Kucherov won't be here at all this year. Pasternak's going to be back in a month, mid-February, ballpark, mid-February.
Also, I'm going to sound biased, and I could argue the Flyers have almost
We'll get there.
just as good as depth.
We'll get there. Depth, probably, but I think that the
Top
Bruins
end talent,
still...
no, but
I think the Bruins still have one of the... I think it's the best forward group. And maybe there's some stock going up and down around the league, as there is constantly, but just... Well, Ian read out the lines. Their depth is almost unmatched. Like if we say that they have the best top line in the league, then they have the best second line, or one of the best second lines in the league, and some of the best third line pieces. Maybe not best third line, but pieces of the third line.
They probably have better third line than second line because like there is a lot better second lines in the league. But their third line is probably better than a majority of them.
Yeah,
Like Leafs second line's better than them.
sure.
Winnipeg's second line's better. Just off the top of my head.
But it's just that Boston's basically running like 3 second lines below their first line.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And on defense,
Well, maybe 2 seconds and a third.
right. And on defense, that's sort of where their holes are. McAvoy's 23. He's a great two-way player, and he's so consistent both ends. Good for him for being so consistent at such a young age. That's part of the reason why they were able to let Krug walk and keep their forward group together is because of his emergence.
Yeah.
And Grzelcyk, 27. I know he's been very sheltered for most of his career, but he's going to move up that depth chart pretty quick with those two left wingers or left defensemen leaving.
I don't trust him yet.
Well, I guess you shouldn't until he does it. Until he does the thing. Is he on the top pair with McAvoy?
No, they have Jeremy Lausen.
Lausen?
With
Lazon.
And who do they have Grzelcyk with?
Brandon Carlo.
On the
second
pair. Carlo's a solid top 4D guy.
And then
He's pretty
the
good. And he's
last
young
two
too,
guys,
24.
I don't know.
I think more than any other team in the league, Boston has kept that sustainable development going. They have those older guys. They had Char on the way out.
Boston, the Bruins are like an identity of what you want your hockey team to
But
be.
they
sustain.
They always make good trades too. Like they don't make bad trades.
And they're not trying to make blocks. You're not going to fix your team with one blockbuster move. And a lot of people do it all the time. Like there's no quick fix. We've seen it in Toronto. There's been so many bad trades all over the place, but Boston doesn't do it. But they have a mix of. You just look up and down their lineup.
picking up like Casse, Craig Smith, Nick Ritchie. Like they're just picking up pieces.
Smith is 31. Yeah, exactly. Krejci. So
Cassie's
he's in that 30s.
Cassie's 26 or 25. Cassie's not old.
25. Yeah, exactly. So they're picking up those mid-20 guys. DeBrusk, mid-20s. Pasternak, mid-20s. So you have that Carlo, 25. You have those guys coming up.
You got a bunch of guys who you know what they are.
And you have those guys on the way. Chara left, but Bergeron's their mid-30s. They have such a good mix that they...
Was he named captain? I think he was named captain.
Bergeron. Another one.
We got to bring it up because we're bringing it up on every team.
All the episodes. Well, last couple at least. Yeah, all the captains. But you know what? Bergeron, you knew he was going to be captain.
Yeah,
like he has
kind
captain. He's like I think he was the best non-captain captain in the league. Yeah. And in net, we haven't even talked about the goalies. Top 5 tandem.
Best tandem.
Best tandem.
Probably best tandem.
Could we name anybody better? I don't know if we could.
No.
I don't think there is.
Two guys who's proven themselves with like pedigree and longevity
and doing it together already.
Yeah. Halak Shoney can play in the playoffs. That 1 year with Montreal, he was good in the playoffs last year with Boston. Remember, Rask had to go leave on emergency for his family.
Yep.
Tuukka Rask is proven since he's been in the NHL that he's elite.
He's tied. Did we throw this? I think we threw this number up. We'll throw it again. He's tied for save percentage overall in his career of all time. Now, if you go, you have to go to the fourth decimal place when they show save percentage.
You have to go to the fourth decimal place
for him to be third. For him to be below Johnny Bauer and Dominic Hasek.
Yeah, those are guys to be in.
So
in a conversation with.
So Rask is
a very good fucking goalie.
Is historically elite.
Yeah.
And I know he's got a great team in front of him, but he's got a great team in front of him. He still has to
lock for the Hall of Fame, in your opinion?
I hope so.
So do I. I think he's a lock. He's going to probably play another 4 or 5 seasons at elite
35.
He's 35?
Yeah, he's
old,
that
man.
old.
Wow.
Man, he's been in the league for so long.
Yeah.
Has he won a Vezina?
No, I'm sorry. Hang on. I
don't think he's 35.
Is 33. Tuukka Rask is 33. Halak is 35.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry.
So their goaltender
but mid-30s.
Their goaltender is the only thing that's in the upper age kind of thing, right? Because you were just talking about the rest of the team being in the mid-20s.
But I think, in my opinion, I don't think old goalies are a bad thing.
As long as
not as long as they're still playing well.
As long as your health is fine. I think having an old goalie is almost better than having a young goalie.
It's only a problem if you're leaning on him to play all your games and they're almost able to split.
No, exactly.
So the only issue that I have with that is solved by the other guy.
Exactly.
So it's perfect.
And it's not like either Halak or Rask have ever been bad in their career.
Yeah, so we were talking about this well before we even started doing a podcast. We are just shooting the shit about this. And Halak's save percentage historically is right there with Price and Frederik Andersen. He's right there historically, his career save percentage. Are you going to try to pull it up, Mark?
No, I got a...
Okay, so but he's like around the 118, 19 in his career. Or sorry, 9, 19, 9, 18, or he's right around those guys with save percentage. So that's... You got 2 guys who could be starters. Halak could be a starter. Halak's a starter on like what, at least 15 of these teams, probably.
I don't know. Yeah, well, like a lot of the teams are going with the 2 goalies, right? So like Halak could fit in on a lot of teams just because there's not a lot of teams doing the load based goalie, right? Like there isn't many teams that, like, even Tuukka Rask isn't that anymore. Like he's not getting the 80%, 90% starts, like Hellebuck, Vass, Anderson, Price, like those guys. So like, yeah, he can fit in easily on a ton of teams.
Any bold predictions for the Boston Bruins?
No.
There's nothing to be really bold about there.
No, I mean, other than you say, hey, they're going to finish first again.
Well, I don't think they will.
I don't think they will, but that's as bold as I can really get because they've been so good for so long.
I think they're still going to be good, but yeah, we're going to have to wait and see.
The boldest I can get is President's Trophy.
Oh,
yeah,
that's what it's bold.
There you go.
Again, that's not that outlandish because they've been so good.
They won the President's Trophy last year.
Did they?
Yeah, 100 points.
Yeah, they were way above.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, they didn't finish the season and they were winning at the time. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Fair. I think is that it, guys? Is that all the teams?
I don't think there's any.
I don't think there's any other teams to talk about.
No one worth talking about. That's for sure.
Okay, Mark, talk.
Only one team worth talking more than Detroit.
Give us your rundown, Mark. So Mark, I just want to preface this. Mark is sitting here with a Philadelphia Flyers jersey, a Wayne Simmons
50th anniversary Flyers jersey.
Very nice looking jersey. He's got his Philadelphia Flyer hat, toque, hipster beanie on.
It's 20 minutes of fucking game time, so hurry this shit up.
He may or may not have Flyers underwear, but let's not start any rumors. Mark, give us the Philadelphia Flyer rundown for the season.
Well, I'm going to try to be as little unbiased as possible.
Please do. It'll be hard, but please do.
The only hole I really see here is the potential of Patrick going down again and the depth of their 3rd and 4th line center not being that great. They're elite on both sides of the wing right down through the entire team. They got Oscar Lindblom back, and before he got diagnosed with his cancer last season, was on pace for a 30-plus goal season, playing with Sean Couturier and Travis Konechny.
Yeah, that's crazy. I just saw that. Them playing. I didn't surprise Drew's off that first line.
Yeah, I kind of wish the Flyers dropped Drew down to play on the 3rd line with Nolan Patrick and Voracek, because I think him and Haves on a line together is going to be slow as molasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Drew playing with Patrick would be a little better because he got a bit more of a veteran presence there.
Yep.
But either way, their third line of Nolan Patrick, James Van Riemsdyk, and Jakub Voracek is probably the best third line in the entire NHL.
Arguably the best, yeah.
It is the best third line in the NHL.
Unbiasedly.
Patrick is going to fucking light the lamp.
If Patrick stays healthy, I think that could be a very
Last time I looked, they had him on the
line.
fourth line, but third makes more sense.
Scott Lawton's playing
Okay,
third
I gotcha.
line,
I could
so-
see Patrick moving up to the second line by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Instead,
but
Hayes
then
would be an expensive third line.
Doesn't
with
matter.
Hayes and Van
the
Riemsdyk.
only real like woe on this team, in my opinion, is their right side defense, because they don't really have anything besides Justin Braun, and he is at best a bottom pairing second
Yeah.
pair.
Is Gostisbehere a right-handed guy? No, he's left. Sorry.
Gostisbehere's left, but he can play the right side. They
Yeah.
were planning to put him and Provorov together, but Gostisbehere's been a mess the last couple seasons. I hope he comes back. 'Cause,
What
man,
about Gustafsson?
that guy can put up points. He was putting up a lot of points with Chicago last season, but he's more or less just a points guy. He's
Yeah.
going to help the power play, but
He's not going to help defensively.
yeah, defensively, like they're good on the left side with Samheim and Heg. Heg throws up a bunch of hits, and he's good shutdown for the third pair, but
Yeah.
they're very weak on the right side.
You don't like Myers?
Myers is nice and like he's big, but you
Yeah,
can
the-
move him up. He's just not proven yet. Like he's
That-
still young and he was undrafted and
How about
like,
this kid Provorov?
Like nobody fucking talks about him. Like he's literally
24
gets
years old.
snubbed from every list. Oh, top future defenseman. I'm like, dude, this guy's 24 years old. He's averaging over 10 goals a season since he's been in the fucking league.
Top pair guy.
He's a top pair guy. He in the playoffs. He's averaging almost 30 minutes a fucking game.
The only question mark people have really had about him, when you actually listen to the people that actually talk about him, is his ability to drive play.
He tries to overdrive the play,
A little, yeah.
which
Is that because the speed up front is not there, or is it just because he's forcing it?
Maybe because he's forcing it because he's still young and
Could be.
he's
Okay.
still learning, man.
Yep.
And then in net they got Carter Hart and Brian Elliott, who I wasn't a huge. I'm so hit and miss with Elliott because he's either gonna steal a game for you or he's the reason you guys lost that game. With like he's gonna give up 2 goals in the third and just fucking blow it for you guys.
That
Right.
seems a good reason to be hit and miss.
Yeah.
And then Carter Hart.
If he's hit and miss,
Carter
then
Hart
you're hit and miss on him.
literally showed the world who he was against Carey Price in that series there.
22 years old, man. He is the next
He is the next
goalie
big
out of
deal.
Canada.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my take is I'm a little more unbiased than Mark, and I just don't think I wouldn't consider really anybody on Philadelphia to be elite. I think their best player, I think the highest level of talent, the highest ceiling talent they have on this team is Carter Hart.
Oh, I agree, and that's
Well, and he's elite.
He's getting there. All
right.
Like, yeah, he's on his way. I
and
wouldn't
then
say he's elite now,
also,
but
I would
highest
put
ceiling.
consider Sean Couturier as elite because he is.
Well, he won the Selke.
I'm starting to put him in that echelon with Bergeron in terms of everybody considers
Taves,
Bergeron
Kopitar,
elite.
like two-way centers.
Exactly.
Yeah, point per game.
Five
almost
on-
a point
really
per
good
game the
5 on
last few
5.
seasons. And if Travis Konechny keeps trending the way he was from last year, don't look at the way he played in the playoffs because he was fucking hurt. But if he continues trending the way he played last year during the regular season, he will be close to a point per game player.
Was he their highest points guy last year?
Yeah, before Lindblom got hurt.
And Konechny's only 23. I feel like he's been in the league like a handful of years now.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I feel the entire Flyers team. They've sort of struggled on this like power play, but their 5-on-5's been really good.
Vigneault's a great 5-on-5 coach. That's why.
And Hayes, I know Hayes, the contract hurts. I mean, I think that's going to start to kill them.
In my
soon.
opinion, I think Hayes' contract is completely fair for what he brings with that team, and he showed that in the playoffs. And if he can do that for another 4 seasons,
Hayes was their best player.
I will be glad to eat that $7 million for the next 2.
Yeah, Hayes was definitely their best player in the playoffs.
So it's $7 million over 6 years, but I mean let's not dissect contracts at this point. But I think just eventually it'll sort of hurt them.
Oh, and I think the worst contract on the team is Van Riemsdyk's, and it's not even like close. For argument.
What do you know off the top of your head what it is?
$7 million for another 5, I think.
3.
3.
Yeah, number 3 years.
Ouch.
That's 7 exactly.
For JVR.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For a third line guy,
He was,
like
on
that's the
pace
thing.
he was on pace for another 25 goals this season.
Like you said,
with breaking his foot at the start of the year.
Yeah, that
as
sucked
well.
too.
So
like you said, if Nolan Patrick Ian gets knocked up to the second line, that is the most expensive third line in the league with Hayes and Riemsdyk.
are they like Vegas and they just have like 2 really good second
Or
lines?
3.
Maybe.
Yeah, three second lines.
And a third line?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100 maybe could be.
Yeah, Lawton's good. I like Lawton.
I'm just super optimistic as a Flyers fan this year, and like just looking at that team on paper, anybody can be. It's hard. The only thing you can say that you're kind of hard done by is just the right side defense.
Name two other teams that have more forward depth than the Flyers.
Tampa and maybe Boston. Tampa and Boston, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
pretty much it.
Depth.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depth.
Yeah.
And what do all three of those teams have as well?
Good goalie.
An elite goalie.
Yep. Hart had a 926 in the postseason.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And yet, well, I mean, solid defense in front of him really helps. But he showed what he could do. He showed he can lay an egg once in a while, as all young goalies can. But
Well, he laid a couple eggs in the playoffs, and he still had a 928.
and he still had a 928. Any bold, Mark? Look, I'm gonna save this for you. I don't have any bold predictions because let's see if you have any for the Philadelphia Flyers.
My bold prediction? Well, I don't really got one.
Well, you said Stanley Cup.
Well, Stan, that's not really bold.
No.
It's not bold for him
And
to say
how
that.
many trophies did you get? Carter Hart?
Ivan Provorov's going to win the Norris this year.
Oh, okay.
That's bold.
That's yeah. Just because he hasn't been in the conversation.
Yeah, just he hasn't. Yeah.
Nobody talks about him.
Nobody talks about it. What a shame. Cool. Ian, anything to add there?
Not really. Like, I could say Giroux has a bounce back, but Hart wins.
Drew has done it. Like 2 or 3 years ago, he was like 100-point player.
I think we're well past that, though. I think.
Yeah, I don't
think
know.
we're well past that, dude.
He's
No longer top line. He's not playing top line minutes. He can't.
You don't know
What's top line minutes?
He's just Flyers are those three lines are going to play the same amount of time. That's how Vigneault runs his lines, man.
I just feel the torch from Giroux has been passed to Couturier. as
Okay.
the
Well,
number
yeah,
one
that doesn't
center.
mean Giroux.
Well-
Giroux hasn't played center for this is the third season. Giroux hasn't
I
played center.
did say in our trophy section in that Leaf episode that Coots will get Couturier will get the
Greg,
Selke.
Giroux
But that's
put up
not
that
really-
100.
That's
Yeah.
not a big prediction. or
Giroux
anything.
put up that 100-point season when he got transferred to the wing.
Okay, man. Let's see him put up if he puts up a 70-point pace this year. 70 points this year is about a 100-point.
No,
pace.
he's not going to. No, Flyers aren't. The Flyers as a team divide the goals too
They score
much for
by
him to put
committee.
that many.
Yeah.
If he's if he's at a 0.8 point per game pace, that would be insane.
Anything else to add for those guys from the Eastern League, the Eastern Division?
That's all of them.
Fuck the Penguins.
That's all of them. Okay, we're gonna head to the 7th inning stretch, and then we'll do our way too early playoff predictions. I know hockey season is starting, basketball is going, and the NFL playoffs are on. But in case you need a break from yelling at one of your favorite team's top players, I have a Netflix recommendation for you. Not a sports series, but a story about competition and rise to fame nonetheless. The Queen's Gambit. It's gained popularity over the past few months, and perhaps those interested in watching it have done so already. Regardless, it's a 7-episode miniseries, and it's very well done. The Netflix series is based on the fictional book from the 80s. This story takes place in the 60s and 70s during the Cold War. The main character, her name's Beth, grew up in an orphanage in Kentucky, basically middle of the nowhere America. And she learns to play chess. And turns out she's pretty good. And turns out she has a little bit of a secret weapon, thanks to the orphanage. I won't spoil anything for you guys. Beth grows along a rags to riches character arc, and as most stories go, there are a few bumps in the road. She's a prodigy, there's little doubt. I love her confidence. She's on a mission. It's admirable. But I love the layers in this series, the character details. There are always things going on behind closed doors. Everyone's fighting a battle you, or the other characters, know nothing about. Battles politically, financially, personally, maybe a couple of those at once. It shows you that everyone has a front, even the most confident of people. You have no idea how they're living. These character details are especially noteworthy in 2020, now 2021. In the current state of the world, COVID, lockdowns, you've seen the news. We just went through the holiday season. Many people have been isolated. People are alone. We really have no idea how each other have lived over the past year. Without spoiling anything, you see these themes play out in this series. It's a reminder to keep yourself in check. No pun intended, because you see, it's a series about chess. Check up on those around you. Keep in touch with people. Connecting with someone at the right moment might be just what they need. Maybe just what you both need. The Queen's Gambit has received very positive reviews. According to critics, it does both the time period and the game of chess justice. If you're looking for a break from yelling at one of your favorite team's top players through your television, The Queen's Gambit. And it's partly filmed in Cambridge, Ontario, so that's cool too. It's time for some way too early playoff predictions for the National Hockey League's Eastern Division League.
Conference Division
League.
So these aren't. We're not going to do these in order. These can mix them up. I'm not going to sit here and argue that somebody can finish first versus second or third versus fourth. I don't care. These are the teams that are going to make the playoffs, and then we'll pick one to come out as the Eastern champion from the playoffs. So let's go to Mark first. Mark, which one team do you think is going to make the playoffs from the Eastern Division Conference?
The Philadelphia Flyers.
The Philadelphia Flyers. What a bold
surprise.
prediction! What a surprise
For $3, Bob.
Can I get the Philadelphia Flyers for $300?
Who was the last captain of the Philadelphia Flyers before Claude Giroux?
Mike Richards.
Well, I was just wondering.
Ian, what do you think? Do you think the Philadelphia Flyers are going to make it?
Yeah, I got Philly in.
I got Philly as well. So that's all three of us across the board picking the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't think that's a huge leap, especially based on what they did in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have such depth. They're Carter Hart. Great bet on him.
Solid defense. Yeah. Good goalie.
They're great. Ian, what's another team?
I will go with the Boston Bruins.
The Boston Bruins. I don't think that's another stretch as well. There's a lot of people that still think that they're one of the top teams, the elite of the elite.
They're still great. It's gonna be hard to see what they do without like Krug and Char there, but I still think like we talked about.
Oh, so Pronger was captain for a season before.
There you go. He failed.
No, he got the eye injury. I didn't know they named him captain that year.
With Chara Krug gone, what was I gonna say? I don't fucking remember
Kind of like
now.
the Winnipeg Jets, their defenses.
No, the defenses. No, I was gonna talk about how their forward.
Yes,
their forwards are just
unreal.
Great depth.
Yeah, Boston. I'm going to take Boston too. I've read a few articles where goaltending. I've read a few articles that still say Boston. There's Boston at the top, and then there's all these teams fighting for those other three spots. I think Boston.
Kind of like how we had the
Leafs,
the
Canadians.
I guess.
Yeah, sort of the same way. Mark, what do you think about the Bruins? Think they make it? Are they on your list of 4?
Yeah, I got Bruins, and I just don't think they're going to win the President's Trophy this year like they did last year.
Right. I think that just based on strength of schedule alone, almost, I think that takes
makes
an opportunity.
It makes it harder.
Them. Yeah.
They don't assume the Sabres are going to be better. The only team they're going to be able to beat up on is the Devils.
Yeah, they don't get to beat up on Red Wings, Ottawa, and Buffalo.
Right.
Sometimes
Florida.
Not
this year.
Next, so we all have Boston, we all have Philly. I have Washington. I think their top end scoring is still elite as long as their goaltending doesn't implode.
See, that's my problem with Washington, so I don't have them.
I'm gonna take them. So Ian, you don't have the Washington Capitals,
but the team I do take is same thing with the goaltending, but it doesn't matter.
No,
I'm not going to take them.
Mark's got Washington.
No, I'm not going to take them.
Okay, Ian. So who do you have instead of Washington?
Instead of Washington, I'll take Rangers.
The Rangers. Okay, give us a quick sentence on the Rangers because I guess that's what we're doing here.
No, I just think they're going to have a good year. They're going to young team just playing well.
Yeah, I think the Rangers just have nothing to lose this year.
Yeah. As long as they're
loosey goose, I don't think I have the Rangers in. I want to put them in. But...
Same, I want to, but I feel like next year
that's why I'm putting them in because I want to.
Okay, that's fair. Goaltending tandem. They could have an elite goaltending tandem.
It could be amazing or it could be bad, but like I'm hoping it's. Well, I'm not hoping. I don't really give a shit. I
think. I just want them to. Besides the Devils, they're the only team in that division that has nothing to lose, but they're an actually really good hockey team.
Yeah, they have elite guys.
Kinda.
They have something to lose, but the same pressure's not on them like the Islanders, the Penguins, the Flyers, the Capitals, or the Bruins, or the Sabres to get out of the fucking gutter that they're in.
The pressure in Buffalo's to basically convince Hall to stay and Eichel not to leave.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot more pressure than the Rangers. Hey man, let's try to get better from last year.
Yeah, a lot of young guys.
If not, next season is friggin' looking bright for us again. We'll have more cap space.
One player over the age of 30.
Yeah.
On that Rangers team. Okay, Mark, who's your fourth team making it?
I got Pittsburgh.
I got Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh? Yeah. Okay. I also am taking...
He's had 100 points last bunch of seasons.
5?
Like, you can't take that away from them. Crosby, Malkin. Even Crosby having the hernia and shit last year, Malkin stepped up and had a fucking hell of a season, even though Malkin was hurt quite a bit last year,
yeah,
too.
they got hurt intermittently.
So was Gensel as well. The team just finds way to win, and I think that's built from Crosby and Malkin.
100%. Yeah.
And Letang. I've not taken anything away from Letang either because he's been there just as long than those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just can
solid team.
Can Jari put out
it's
those numbers?
the only.
Hopefully they can.
I hope he can.
Well, the only problem is just the team staying healthy. Like
that's my thing. If Jari can't put up the same numbers, I think the Islanders are going to jump in.
Yeah, I know you've been really high on the Islanders, and you would have them. I would have the Islanders in the playoffs normally, but you can't have
all the teams. You can't have all the teams in this division in the playoffs.
No, I think Islanders actually give them the biggest run for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this team kind of got screwed the most out of
the same way that the Canadians are the biggest beneficiary. There's a couple teams of the realignment. There's a couple teams in this that got screwed. Yeah. Cool, guys. Let's go to the last minute of play here, and just as we go around the table, give me who's coming out of this division. Who's going to win it?
What did I even say? I'm gonna
go. Okay,
I want to see. I want to see Mark streak down the street when Flyers win. So it'd be hilarious. Yeah, we'll go Flyers.
You know what? I'm going to take the Flyers as well to come out of this division.
It's always fun watching a Flyers game with Mark.
Mark?
He loses his shit.
We know who Mark's going to take. Mark's going to take the Flyers as well. So Mark's going to take the Flyers coming out of this division.
Oh, yeah. Go Philly.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can catch all of our other division breakdowns on our podcast channels on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and all sorts of other places. So thanks a lot for listening. Cheers. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.